Hi, Groomies. I'm Felicity.
And I'm Ravi. And we are the host of
The
the
Grim
Grim and Tonic Book Club,
We are book club for people who love to read thrillers.
but hate to leave the house.
Today we are chatting about The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. So if you haven't read the book, you're welcome to join us on the journey, but please know there will be spoilers.
Just a quick disclaimer, we keep things light enough to survive, but real enough to matter. Mostly because crying at the mic does not sound good. So let's get into it. What's been going on with you?
You know what? We always do this where we like check in every 2 weeks, but then we see each other every day.
There's actually nothing
no
much
news.
for.
No news from.
It's for our listeners.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I have any stories. I'm such a dull little lady, just reading my books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
What's happening with you?
Siraj and I, so my husband and I went to the comedy lounge on what was that, Friday night?
Was it good?
It was actually so good. So we saw Troy Kinne Kinne.
I don't know.
You know the guy, you definitely know. You know the guy who's like, there's that magic coffee table where his wife is so annoyed with him because she does everything around the house. And then he goes, I'm going to put stuff on this magic coffee table.
Oh.
And then it just disappears the next day.
I'm going to look him up. Kinne.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen that video before?
Yeah, I think so. He looks familiar. Is he like TikTok-y?
I think so, yeah. So he's hilarious. So he was the like the main act of the night, and oh my god, it was hilarious. And Siraj and I were just sitting right at the front. So of course we got roasted multiple times. Siraj hated it, but I loved it.
What did you get roasted about?
It was just so many things. A few of them I don't know if I'm gonna actually say on here.
Oh.
Well, there was one. There was one. There was this. Of course, they were talking about sex and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, what kind of animal is he in the bedroom?" The Siraj was asking me.
I feel like he'd be a panda.
No, and then I tried to make a joke, right? But of course, I'm not a very funny person by nature. Although I think I am, but I'm not. So I tried to say, it depends on the weather, because in my head, right, when you're at the zoo, yeah, so I was like, only certain animals come out at the zoo. So that was my thought process, that I'm gonna try and be a little bit funny, but it completely backfired. And he was like, "What do you mean it depends on the weather?" Yeah, so we did that.
Don't engage with comedians.
No, it backfired completely. But no, and then the other day, it was on Saturday, I was in the shower and like someone was knocking on our door. So Stretch wasn't at home, it was just me. I was knocking on my door, right? And then, because we have that camera thing, and I was just like, oh, who is it? It was knocking at my door, because we don't get any
How dare people knock at my door?
Yeah, so I never get any unexpected guests. Like, who is it?
Who could it be?
So I look at the camera, and it was two like really like young boys, like maybe 5 or 6 year old. And I was just like, man, let me like get dressed. So I was just like,
They should have known.
they should have known I was in the shower. The audacity. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get dressed very quickly, and went out. And then when I went out, I was like, hello, and they're not there anymore. And their mum came, and she was like our neighbor. And we've been here for like 2.5 years, and this is the first time they introduced themselves to us, which is fine. But we speak to their husband all the time. And they're like, oh, you know, we're neighbors, and my boys wanted to come and say hi. And they gave us a little like a plant pot thing that was right in my island.
Oh, that's nice.
Cute. Yeah, I was like, it's really cute. So now I'm friends with those little kids and their mum.
So you're not going to yell at these kids?
I've never actually yelled at any child.
You're going to jump on these kids?
Technicality. No. And if they climb my fence, maybe.
Oh.
That's a whole different topic. But yeah, that's what's going on in my life. besides the boring adult
I
work
had a neighbor story. We built our house a year ago, and we are finally getting around to like actually putting curtains and stuff up. We're so lazy, and we just don't have the time. I'm also incredibly lazy.
But you're busy.
I've got one window it's like in my bedroom, and our bedroom sort of just like looks out into there's not much out there. There's just like the side of the house. And then the fence to the neighbours. And there's just a small window. I was like, I might just like not put anything on there. I'm just going to leave that one open. And I was getting dressed the other day. And then I look out that little window, and there is a guy in the house. He was like painting the neighbour's house, and he could see right in. All right. Sorry about that, my guy.
I don't think he was like unapologetic about that. He would have been like, whoa,
not prepared for that while I'm at work. But yeah, he got it.
It's a nice bonus. It's a nice surprise there.
Look, I don't think people can get dressed in a sexy way, especially when they're not aware that people are watching. So it was probably quite disgusting.
You know, I bet that if you ask him, he'll be like, nah, made my day.
Wow.
Also, I have the same socks as you.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, adorable.
Yeah.
Where are they from? Kmart.
So the best thing. All right. So let's actually get into
let's talk about this
book club chat.
Book club chat.
So this is by Rachel Hawkins. It was her first adult novel. So she's used to writing books for like children. So they say young readers.
Kids? Like young adults? Kids.
I think it's kids, but they just use the term young readers.
Okay.
So hopefully kids. And yeah, she studied gender and sexuality in uni. No wonder she became an author.
I'm only someone that studied sexology.
Okay.
Interesting.
Sexuality and sexology, is it? I feel like it's two different things.
Okay, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is there. I don't know what you actually study in either of those things.
Yeah.
Very cool. This book was actually inspired by Jane Eyre. Have you read Jane Eyre?
I have. I definitely have. But I've read it like, I feel like 15 years ago.
It's a big ass book. I've never read it.
Maybe I didn't then. Maybe it sounds familiar. I think I did. I genuinely think I did. It was about the girl from an unfortunate family who tries to... No, and then she was being abused.
It's one of the Bronte sisters, like Charlotte Bronte.
No idea. No idea.
Don't know. We're not
that classy.
We're not smart people.
But before we continue, what are we drinking today? That's your question. You need to ask.
What have you made for me today? What are we drinking, Ravi?
So I am just essentially getting you drunk today.
We're just having giant shots of gin.
So gin and choya with a bit of sugar syrup as well as soda water. So it's just a very, very strong alcoholic drink. And I'm trying to...
It's half gin.
It is half gin, yeah. And I'm just trying to get Flick drunk so she can't leave immediately after the podcast, and so she will stay and talk to me.
All right. We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll have silly chats. Did you know that this book is actually it was on the New York Times bestseller list, and that ticks off one of our bingos.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Finally, Ravi is ticking off bingo cards.
I did do the short story as well.
Yeah, we've got a list. It's amazing. We're actually making progress here.
Yeah. When I quit our job...
You're not allowed. I don't accept.
I will read so many more books. I can't even... Anyways.
Do you want to... Because you wrote this. Do you want to tell us the plot of this book? Even though everyone knows, because everyone has read it, because if they haven't, they shouldn't be here. But just for the forgetful lasses out there, can you please give us a plot summary?
Or even some people who just want to listen to our beautiful voices for some reason.
They do exist.
Okay. The wife upstairs follows Jane, a broke young woman with a criminal past. Criminal?
Criminal? All right, that's a stretch.
Who's trying to reinvent herself in the wealthy neighborhood of the Thornfield Estates in Alabama. She walks dogs for rich families, steals trinkets from their houses, and dreams of something better. Her life changes when she meets Eddie Rochester, a handsome, rich widower
So handsome.
whose wife B, a successful lifestyle mogul who was presumed dead in a mysterious boating accident. Jane and Eddie begin a fast-moving romance, and soon she is living in his lavish home, enjoying his
Really
wealth.
soon.
Huh?
They knew each other for 30 seconds, and then she's like, why aren't we married?
Yeah.
I'm just going to manipulate this man into making me live with him.
Exactly. And like she was doing it not because she wanted to marry him, because she wanted the other wealthy ladies to accept her.
Yeah, but it's so wild because it has been mentioned like multiple times that his wife went missing less than a year ago and they're like engaged to be married
Yeah.
within minutes.
Within like a year.
Yeah,
and that doesn't scream suspicious.
Red flag.
Red flag right there. Where was
Soz.
Yep, no. Enjoying his wealth and imagining a new life, but something about B's disappearance does not add up. As Jane becomes more entangled in Eddie's world, she uncovers secrets about B's troubled marriage and her close toxic friendship with another woman called Blanche. Blanche, right?
Blanche.
Who also died in the same boating accident. Meanwhile, we also learn B is not actually dead, but locked in a panic room in the attic by Eddie, who is accused by B of murdering Blanche and faked B's disappearance. B reveals her own twisted motivations and the psychological warfare in her marriage, making it clear she was never the perfect victim. The story builds into a cat and mouse game between Eddie, Jane, and B, all three hiding something and capable of deceit. In a final twist, Jane discovers that B is alive and rescues her from the panic room, only to learn she has been caught by Eddie. That's a very weird way of reading that. In an attempt to save herself from her fiancé, she smashes his head with a pineapple and locks him in the very same panic room B was locked in.
Pineapple.
It's from the Southern manners. Jane quickly learns that B is not the victim she thought she was, only to be distracted by a fire alarm.
This whole thing is so ridiculous.
Where B goes to confront Eddie, who she suspects is behind the fire alarm, Jane does what she always does, saves herself. The fire destroys the house and everyone in it, leaving Jane back to square one at the bottom of the barrel. In a twist of fate, Jane learns that Eddie had, in fact, included her in his will, and with him gone, she was the sole inheritor of B's multi-million-dollar estate.
I am good with this book up until like the 75% mark, and then it just went fucking ridiculous. And I loved it. It was so fun, but I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read.
It was building up. And it happens a lot with these books. Like the build up is so good, and then they're like, fuck, we've actually hit like the 300-page mark. Gotta finish, and boom.
We need some way to make this make sense. I don't know. Make a panic room that you can't get out of. What? That's how they're designed.
You are struggling so hard with this panic room.
Because you're meant to be able to get out of a panic room. That's the whole design, is that someone can't get in, but you can get out. You can't lock someone.
But maybe it was designed for like a multi, or maybe, right? Just throwing it out there, because Eddie did strangle B until she lost consciousness, put her in the room, and in that time where she was out of it, he changed the locks.
Not falling for it.
He could have changed the locks.
I'm not falling for it.
Why? It's completely plausible. All right, characters. So we have Jane
/ Helen.
Jalen.
Did you like her?
Huh?
Did you like her?
Okay. When I first started reading like the first few chapters, and I'm like, girl, come on. Like, but then I actually started really liking her. when she was just like, I'm walking dogs because working as a barista is too hard.
She would just stroll around the neighborhood, and she was the worst dog.
She was,
This girl did not like dogs at all.
yeah.
She's like the you of to do dog walking.
Can I walk dogs?
She's like, why do these people even need dog walkers? They've got backyards. Oh.
They are so rich.
They're so rich. So you have grass out the back. Why do you need me to come and walk?
Don't you want the job? Don't you want the job as a dog, as a chill job?
And then in the end, because Eddie gets the dog like the next day after they meet.
Adele?
What
a name.
I love that name actually. And then Eddie burns the house down, and then it's like a week later, and Emily comes up and is like, don't worry, we've got Adele. She's like, oh yeah, we have a dog.
She was just like, my money's gone. Oh fuck, the dog is still here.
It's a fucking dog still.
Yeah.
The worst dog walker.
She was, and she used to walk like one family's dog a day. I'm like, you're working for like an hour.
So curious. I mean, obviously she wasn't earning as much as she needed to survive because she was stealing their shit.
And that's the part I didn't like.
He didn't like it. I thought that was the most interesting thing about it.
Like, these people are giving you a job, right? I know, like, it's not like the best financial job, but if you're walking one dog a day, do something else. Because thing is, like, if you got caught stealing, very risky move, and fucking wearing the necklace out with a date with Eddie after she stole the stuff. Like, if you get caught, like, you're gone.
The one that I found the riskiest was when they went to the country club party and she literally stole the woman's bangle off her arm.
Yeah.
But how?
No, but yeah, it's like, okay, at that point in time, you are engaged to be married to this, like...
She was doing it for fun at that point.
Oh, it's so irritating.
Just for the lulz.
I don't like it when people, like, you are risking it all for what?
Yeah.
You have to think long term. I didn't like the cinema, but as a character, I thought she was brilliant. She's just like this, like, I'm not gonna let anybody like tell me what to do. I'm gonna take care of myself in whatever way. And she saw an opportunity with Eddie, and she was like, I'm going in.
I also think that, so in her mind and in her perspective, yes, she was savvy. She was seeking opportunities. She was quite tenacious and whatnot. But then on the outside, like, she is described as like having unflattering clothing. I don't know why she had so many did she on
was
purpose?
Poor, Felix.
No, she wasn't.
She kept stealing stuff?
No, this was afterwards. This is she was with Eddie and she's like, oh, should I have this ugly dress or like this ugly dress?
She could never find her style.
Yeah, she
could.
So she on purpose chose unflattering dresses. She's described as having unflattering hair, like somewhere between blonde and brown. Blonde. Wait,
blonde.
She had blonde hair.
Blonde. Yeah.
She her whole history, she was running, she was like, oh, I can't get my thoughts into my mouth.
Tell us a history.
She was running away. She changed her name because she had a dark past.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we know. It was hinted at quite a few times that she was dangerous. She had a dark past and people should not mess with her and whatnot. She watched a man die of natural causes. Like, that was her crime, that she was like dodging the police, like, don't trust the police, they can't know me. She got extorted for thousands of dollars from whatever his name is, John.
Disgusting John.
Because she saw someone die of natural causes. So disappointing.
It was so disappointing.
I wanted her to be a murderess.
Yeah, but at the same time, when that happened, I was like, because she had such an adverse reaction to Eddie potentially killing Bea and Blanche.
Potato.
Blanche. And I was just like, no, okay, so she surely isn't a murderer. But I was like, what else is worse than being a murderer?
She's like, we are alike. You know, we are both murdery people. No, you're not.
Oh, so the backstory was her friend Jane, whose name she adopted, was really sick. She had, pneumonia, and her foster family did nothing about it, and so she died. And then
the foster dad had a heart problem.
Had a
heart attack and was asking for the pills, and she was like, no. And then she ran away.
And then she put the pills down the garbage disposal and ran away. And then months later met John.
She could have stayed Helen.
She could have said nobody was looking for her.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Like, if they looked at the death, they'll be like, all right, this guy actually died of a heart attack.
She could honestly have just put the pills up high.
Yeah.
Just put them out of reach.
Yeah.
And then call the police and be like, oh yeah, this guy died. I'm devastated. And then she could have continued living her life.
Could have. Yeah. But she wouldn't have met Eddie then.
I know. It would have been a terrible life.
What a shit life.
She left to, seek out her dreams of being plain Jane, the dog walker. I thought it was really funny how everyone was like, Jane, what an Jane.
Yeah. I know so many Janes.
Never hear the name Jane anymore.
The lawyer at the end.
So unusual.
Eddie, what do you think of Eddie?
I have no idea who Eddie is. I don't know if this is like the story. It's like you don't really know who anyone is. But Eddie, in plain Jane's perspective, was like handsome and like a business baller and quite intimidating, very like protective. Like, he was very charming. And then you go into his perspective and you're like, oh, you're a weasel. He was like a scavenger. He was just like a little con man, weak ass bitch. So I don't know who he is. Was he like a scary boss man with blue eyes? How many times do I have to hear about his eyes?
Yeah.
Was he all that?
Strong, dark, handsome?
Or was he just like a weaselly little man that was seeking out the closest, richest person to, take advantage of?
I think it was a combination of both. Like, how he portrayed himself through the world was like he's this confident, protective, handsome man who is able to run multiple businesses. But then when you actually...
He was so busy, and there's like, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be home at 5. Long day in the office. Hey, Eddie.
Running 2 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
God, the times we leave the office sometimes. Fucking Eddie. But no, it's not.
He worked hard for his 200 million.
He was just like, girl, you're so pretty. And B is like, oh my God, yeah, girl.
I understood why Eddie wanted B.
Yeah, because rich, pretty.
He was going for that money, honey.
Yeah, so I think what he portrayed himself to be and what he actually was very different. And that's what worked in his favor, right? Like,
it was just like from Jane's perspective that she saw him as being all that, but he actually kind of wasn't.
Because, from B's perspective as well, she's just like, he's a stupid little man who thinks he's so smart.
He's not so good with the numbers.
Bitch, please.
He doesn't, he has the same code for everything because he's not so good with numbers. Like an idiot.
And then there's one point where B goes, yeah, men always think they're smarter than they are. Facts, though.
And plain Jane's like, what do you mean? Eddie's a genius.
He uses the same code, which is B's birthday for everything.
So he does seem really charming.
Yeah.
From Jane's point of view.
Yeah.
But then when we're in him, I think he's just...
When we are in him?
We are... Well, when we're in his perspective, he was not all that.
No. But I still enjoy reading about him, though.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
But they seem like two
very different people. Yeah. I think how he portrayed himself was like, I liked it. I liked how he portrayed himself, even though he was just a stupid little man.
He reminded me of, in The Housemaid, what's his name?
Andrew Winchester.
Yeah. Mr. Winchester, Mr. Rochester, same.
All the Chesters.
The Chester.
Yeah.
And then we've got B / what's her name?
Bertha.
Yeah.
What a name.
That's my car's name. Big
Your
Bertha.
car's name?
Yeah,
We call your car Bertha?
Big Bertha.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, maybe I'll call her B now.
Yeah, you should.
Actually, yours can be B.
Huh?
So tiny. Your little car. So small.
It's just a temporary car. Until we buy another one.
I loved Bertha.
Yeah. Oh, girl, please.
She was a woman of my own heart. She was like herself. Yeah. Okay. I am not saying that she is a good person. I'm saying that she is interesting and fascinating and fun to read. Okay. In real life, no, she's the worst.
I love B. She's a girl after my own heart.
She is.
This
Except
bitch
she's for the murder. For the murder. Everything but the murder. She's like a self-made. She made $200 million business
Yeah.
selling pineapple trays.
Yeah.
That's a
Which makes no sense to me.
no sense. She stole the design off Blanche and somehow made this like entire like company.
I also don't understand what they are selling. It was like lifestyle stuff to like bowls and glassware and all that kind of and what's that,
Trinkets.
fruit bowls.
Trinkets,
But then at the same time,
jewelry.
she has like expensive jewelry that
Yeah.
she's selling, and it's not like just like a chain or something. It's like expensive jewelry. And then at the same time, you have dresses
Yeah.
that are really nice
She does it
quality. Like, what is your business, babe?
How dare Blanche be like, oh, she stole it from me? No, honey. Like she has an entire industry that she is taking care of. You have one house worth of shit. Oh my God, you have bangles and she sells bangles? She fucking stole it from you. No, Blanche, she didn't. She created those fucking bangles. She marketed it. She like dealt with the contract. She did it. She's got a team. She is on it. She's got designers. She is owning it.
Yeah.
So I love her vibe. I hate that Blanche tried to claim that
Yeah.
she was stealing her style.
Blanche is problematic.
Fucking such. I loved her old money vibe. I loved that she didn't escape. She got out of the panic room and immediately went downstairs and was like, oh, I need a bottle of wine. That's a good bottle.
You all drank my 2009 bottle of
That's
red
fine.
wine?
The 2007s here. This will do. This piece of shit will do.
Yeah.
And then yeah, she was just like a glorious woman. And I thought she was the best. And I really don't even care that she murdered people. Maybe Blanche deserved it for being jealous.
So this is where you and I disagree.
Yeah, we are different people.
She was a very accomplished woman. I'll give her that. And she made the best of what a shitty upbringing she had.
Yeah.
She, she's worked
She's
hard.
rags to riches.
Yeah, she worked hard in school, got like scholarships and whatnot, got like the best internship as an interior
She worked
decorator,
hard.
work hard,
Made connections.
100%. So credit where credit is due. So much respect for that, right? But this bitch has some serious issues.
I mean, yeah, she may have killed her mum.
She killed her mum.
Maybe.
Maybe. She admitted to it. She's just like, I don't know why I just pushed her. That would have been so hard to explain if my mum had survived.
Okay, but that's like one thing that she did.
One thing.
How about the rest?
So mum embarrassed her in an award thing, right? So that must have been difficult for her. I get that. Send your mum to rehab.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, but nobody knows Bertha. Everybody knows B. So send your mum to rehab. Why are you like killing your mum off? And she's like, the mum was falling and she's like, push. You did now, girl. So like, unnecessary. Terrible person. And then she thought her best friend and her husband were having an affair. Nothing concrete. Just she thought. And then she went to have sex with that disgusting trip. And she's like, this is so underwhelming.
Of course it is.
It's drip.
He's an alcoholic.
He's an alcoholic, and she's just like lying down, la da 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 da. When is this gonna finish?
She's just like, I'm not even gonna bother faking it.
Yeah. And then like, you're the one who actually cheated, not them. And then when she realizes that they like, Eddie's not actually interested in Blanche, and then Blanche exposes her what she thought was a secret to Eddie, which is about her mum. She was like, this bitch got to go. I feel like there are so many steps as a rich woman to take rather than risking all of everything you've worked for. One
They could have
bad
just
move.
moved.
They could have moved.
No, she was a woman that took charge.
No,
B was the best.
stupid. It's all stupid. And then like even Eddie's PA, Anna or Anne, whatever, she she was really pretty, out of school, working hard for Eddie in his construction business. And then B didn't like it. She didn't like that a pretty girl was working for Eddie. And then she just
She framed her. She put some money in
framed her and then just got her fired and let go. Like, this is not the characteristics of a good person.
I'm not looking for a good person.
Are you looking for a psycho?
Yeah. But like a fun psycho.
Psycho is a psycho.
Well, if you want a boring, nice people, I've got a book for you.
No, I like Jane. She just used to steal stuff.
Plain Jane. You want Jane, but like to not steal things. Just walk dogs and sit in the bath. That's what you want. It's just so nice.
I'm all about the good people.
I just want to read about good people. Yeah, I've got a book for you then. The men. There are a couple of really gross men in this book. We have Trip, who was disgusting.
Yeah.
Which was Blanche's husband.
Yeah.
And we had John, who was also disgusting.
All they wanted to do was harass women and have sex with women. That's all they wanted.
Yeah, there's no respect there.
No, they're just disgusting little men.
Yeah, small people. Blanche, we don't actually know. I would like to see Blanche from Blanche's perspective, because Blanche just seemed problematic.
She was so problematic. Was she jealous of B? 100%. Of B's like new wealth, of a hot new husband, of all the success. So of course she did what any reasonable person would do and say that she stole everything from her. Even her husband at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just...
Blanche did want Eddie.
Yeah.
She tried.
She tried, but Eddie was like, no, not really. And they kissed. So they did actually kiss. But Blanche kissed Eddie and Eddie was like, nah, this is actually, I'd rather have the money than have the sex.
Yeah, everyone's a problem.
Everyone.
Except B.
Everyone's a problem. I like Emily the best.
Yeah.
That was my fave.
Girl.
We should have started this episode as like,
Hey girl.
hey girl.
Hey girl.
Cannot
They were
do-
just so worried about the flowers.
Beautification committee.
The beautification committee.
Oh, I should stop that. What do you think? Do you think Eddie and B are still alive?
Yes, I totally think they're still alive.
Yeah.
They only found his teeth that were already like knocked out.
Yeah.
There was no other remains.
But okay. If Eddie and B were still alive, why would they not come back for all that fucking money? Like, why would they lead a poor life? Because all both of them ever wanted was to be rich, be successful. I cannot imagine them working.
I think
in
we're not
slums.
giving them enough credit. They for sure have like assets and stuff, like in Switzerland. They've offshored some assets. Like they have access to cash. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie's freaking like buried it in the backyard. And I don't think that they're poor.
I don't think Eddie is that smart
I
to do offshore stuff.
I think B would be.
I think B would be, but also B left Eddie, like she didn't sign a prenup. So there was 100% trust there. So I don't think she... Oh, the rain. I don't think she... I don't know. I don't see it. From everything I read, I don't think they were financially so concerned because they're like, oh yeah, the money is there. Like the company is there.
Yeah, I also think that B she will probably find a way to make money. Maybe she's flipped this on its head. Maybe she's turned into plain Jane. Maybe she's out walking dogs and stealing shit off people's trays.
There's no money in that though.
There's enough to get by. I do think that they've probably hidden some cash somewhere. They have access to money. They will be fine. I think it's them at the end of the book where she's like, Adele barked at someone and I think I saw B in a truck. That was for sure them.
No, I don't think
they're
it's
dead.
I think it's the ghost of.
She's haunted by them.
Yeah,
And the guilt.
I wouldn't really necessarily say guilt. I think it was a lack of closure for them, for her, because they couldn't really find anything. But I don't know. I just, because at the point where B opened the door of the panic room, she like screamed, and then they ended off that sentence like scream and pain.
Yeah.
So
maybe this will be one of the questions that we ask the people.
Do you think they're alive?
Are they alive or are they dead?
I like to think they're dead. I just think, right, like when you have that level of success, money, richness, arrogance, you can't just suddenly switch and be like, yeah, I'm gonna start from scratch again. It's very difficult to, like, from an ego perspective, I think, from an arrogance perspective, or even a lifestyle perspective. You have all this money, you have everything like on your fingertips, and suddenly from that to nothing, walking dog. I don't think so.
Maybe they realized that all they really wanted was each other.
No.
Okay.
No. I think they did.
So if they did survive, what do you think they would have done? Like they wouldn't have disappeared. They would have stepped into the light and be like, we're fine.
I think if they made like a sequel of this book and Eddie and B came back, they would try and get everything of theirs back from Jane. So potentially like kidnapping Jane.
They could just live as a throuple. I feel like they would all enjoy that.
Jane would do it for the money.
Yeah.
Jalen would do it for the money.
Eddie would love it.
Eddie would love it because he loves both.
B wouldn't be a fan. B would kill Jalen.
Yeah. B 100% would kill Jalen. She'd be like, not this man, bitch. Which is exactly...
Get out of my tub.
Yeah. Which is exactly why. Why do you think B would let Jane get away with everything she's worked for? She's such a petty little woman.
I mean, maybe that's what, a sequel to this would have been.
What happens next? They survived.
Give us a short story of it.
Yeah, we love the follow-up short stories.
Yeah.
So the other thing is also like, because B was never found alive and Tripp was never charged because he was cleared, and they just assumed...
They never really thought it was him anyway.
Yeah. And then they thought it was Eddie who was after... who was behind the deaths. The truth about Blanche's death, like, she never got justice from that point of view. How do you feel about that?
I don't really care. Fine.
Let them be dead. Let there not be any justice.
Maybe I feel like they're just a package.
Yeah.
Old Bertha and Eddie. They're just a package. They both did it.
Yeah. They both did it.
No, but I feel like Eddie's an accomplice in it anyway.
Yeah, he should have called the cops immediately.
Yeah. Okay, but he didn't. He like...
It was the money.
He stashed her into the
panic room.
Into the panic room. And I don't get why.
Because
what was he gonna do? Was he just gonna leave her there forever?
I think so. Yeah, I think he was gonna start, like, if I would think about it, I think, yeah, he was gonna leave her there forever, let her grow old there and die, because he couldn't report her to the police, because then Southern Manners would lose its reputation. No one want to buy like stuff from a murderous website.
I am just so confused by, like, I get that his first reaction was like, okay, I'm not going to turn her in, I'm just going to stash her somewhere. And then for the next 6 months, at least, probably a year, right?
Yeah.
He just like continued on. and he did not make another plan.
Yeah.
There was no end plan. There was no, okay, this is what I'm going to do for now. And then in this much time, like I'm going to move her out or whatever it is. He was like, I guess she just lives in a panic room now, but I'm really lonely. So I'm going to like let plain Jane live with me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like banging around in the house. I'll just blame it on raccoons. Like, no, you need to have an actual plan here.
And I'm just going to bang.
No plan. He was just like just living each day.
What would you, okay, if you, not saying if you were Eddie, but if you were Eddie, what would you have done? What would your plan have been?
The plan is not to keep someone captive for the rest of their life, okay? The plan is to either kill them off, or like smuggle them out, send it to Mexico.
And what? Sell her?
Let her go.
Like, she can just come back.
She wouldn't want to. Be like, I'm going to get you to Mexico. You can go and live in a McMansion in Mexico on the beach. If he loves her so much, go and live with her. Like, there are other options here other than just like having her live in a panic room for the rest of her life.
So give her an alternative, like, I'll let you go if you promise never to come back to the States.
Yeah.
And if she does?
Well, then the police can get her at the border.
Yeah.
But there was just no end game.
No, there was no end game. That was quite annoying.
I don't understand why he moved plain Jane in.
Yeah. Why did he just buy another house? Why was everyone in their house?
He thought it was a good idea to like have a woman move in with him while there was another woman stashed in the cupboard.
Also, how is the panic room making noises with the bed? I don't understand. Isn't the whole purpose to not have any noise?
Maybe it's not soundproof. Maybe it's just impenetrable from the outside or apparently from the inside. Oh, you can start fires in there somehow.
How did that fire start?
What was in that room? There was weapons. There was fire. There was so much at hand.
And why didn't B ever attack Eddie?
I don't know. And she was trying to attack him with a puss. She was playing that game.
She's like, I'm gonna outsmart Eddie.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stay, like, he's gonna let me go.
He's gonna remember that he loves me and my body.
Did you ever think like B was actually dead? Like before they actually revealed that she was alive?
No, because the book is called The Wife Upstairs.
I was like, yeah, so like, which wife? I'm sure it's going to be the first wife.
All the wives. How many wives does Eddie want?
And then there was a point I was thinking maybe he would marry Jane, and then Jane will find out, and then maybe he will put her upstairs.
Stash it in the wife room.
Collect the wives. Oh,
There was a line that I laughed out loud at, and it was when Jane was hoping that Eddie was going to propose to her, and they like went to the park, but he was on the phone and she was so mad at him. But she's like, he knows that this place is special to us because we've been here before.
One park, the first time that they went.
Well, they've only known each other 3 minutes, so this is the first time they've like repeated a date, and she's like, "That's it, we're getting engaged."
So my first date with Suraj was at Uncle Billy's.
Yeah. So the next time you went back there,
the next time I was like,
"This has got to be it.
Have our wedding here. This is where we will have the reception, Uncle Billy's."
Like, so we came to the park. I told you that the only jewelry I would ever wear would be a ring. So I was dropping some serious hints, and you're just sitting over there on your phone.
I'm so mad.
The audacity of this man.
To propose to you after like what was it, like a week?
Yeah.
And then like also when he did actually propose, first I don't understand why.
I don't get why.
Why he proposed.
He didn't love her. He said it. Why are you doing all this? This is so risky. If he had just continued like living his life, not bringing in a woman that he didn't love,
just buy with him an apartment,
or like just don't be with her because you don't love her.
Oh yeah.
There is no reason to have her in the house.
Yeah.
There was not one single reason. to bring
Well,
James
they
to
had
this house.
the same hustleness to them.
Game, respect, game.
And then no, but even when like Jean wanted to get married, her only reason to get married was so that the neighborhood women would accept her.
Yeah.
Cause like well, you
She's
know,
like,
they
I'll never
always
be one of them, not while I'm just a girlfriend.
yeah. Okay. What's the problem? I don't understand. You're getting everything you want without the commitment.
They seem quite nice.
Yeah.
Bringing you into the beautification committee.
Yeah. What is your
You're going to the country club parties.
yeah? It's like no, but we have to get married, so I'm one of them.
Yeah.
No, but then yeah, the way they accepted her was a lot. I thought it was going to be a lot harder.
They were
for
quite
her.
kind.
Yeah, they were actually really nice. I didn't expect them to be that nice to her.
Yeah. Yeah. This was all in Jane's head.
Excuse me. Yeah.
She had some reverse snobbery.
Oh, she
She looked down on them for like having money and nothing to worry about. And she was like, oh, I want money and nothing to worry about. Why can't I sit in the bath all day?
Oh my God. And then she's like, yes, I want to make it big, but like, you know, without actually working for it.
Yeah.
I just want to marry the next.
Instantly spent that money too.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, my new clothes and my new bag, and I'm just going to go put on my new expensive face cream.
Moisturizer, but my ugly new clothes. And I need to find out where to get my hair done.
And my nails are disgusting.
Same, actually.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of money.
I have no money and no time. She has both.
Oh, this book was great.
It was so fun,
It was, yeah.
but it was dumb.
Do we have anything else to say about
Let's play a game of where are they now. So obviously you think that B and Eddie are dead.
Yes, I think they're dead. Full stop.
What do you think Jane's up to?
Jane? I don't think she will sell Southern Menace. I think that she would keep the company and try and like employ people and run the company. Like instead of her running it, employ like a CEO, CFO, like have like a full board team to run it and just be at the background and just being like, doo, 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 doo. I'm running this show now.
I completely disagree.
Yeah?
I think she sold it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because she doesn't know how to run a business.
yeah. And also she has zero drive. Zero drive.
Well, she was part of the beautification
That's-
committee. And she bought like solar lamps.
She did buy the solar.
So like give this woman some credit, Felicity.
So I think she just bums around all day.
You have here that she sells the business for 150 million.
Yeah, I reckon she's
What
for
is-
less than it's worth. Just to get rid of it.
I was like, why that oddly specific?
Yeah.
Value.
150 mil. She would have been like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't know what stuff is.
Yeah. And then hire like a financial advisor or just have it under her bed.
Under the bed.
Don't trust the banks because
She's probably still stealing stuff from her neighbors.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, see, where is she? She bought a little cottage somewhere.
Yeah.
So she's stealing like what, sheep?
No, not I think it was like a condo, right? It wasn't a cottage. I don't know.
I thought it was a little,
It
whatever.
was, something understated.
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like she's sold the business for less than it was worth.
Yeah.
And then she just sits around all day.
In a bath.
In the bath.
In a bath. That's very important to mention that she was in a bath.
Yeah. And then she just complains about how busy she is.
I have to get up, go to the store, come back,
I'm so much better than everyone.
walk Adele,
Oh.
and then take a
You
bath.
can remember Adele.
At least she kept the dog and she didn't like throw it.
Rehome the dance. Throw her away. My gosh. I think that B and Eddie are alive and I think they're loving life. I reckon they're probably living somewhere fun. Just having the best life.
I don't think so. I don't think they like each other enough for that.
I think they like each other a lot.
I think Eddie loved B, but he could not stand being near a murderer.
No, I think he moved past that.
Really?
Yeah. And I think B loved him too for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the blue eyes.
It was a blue eyes. She was like, no one can touch what is mine.
Yeah.
So
Did you have any mid-book predictions?
I actually did. I actually had like a 50% and a 75%, but 75% one, I'm not going to read that out loud because
All right.
that's not mid-book. All right, so my mid-book prediction. Eddie's plan was to marry and kill off B for her money, but you can't just kill your wife, right? Because like the prime suspect is always the spouse. And Eddie's backup plan was to get together with someone unassuming like Jane and use her as his insurance. So an unhinged woman with a dodgy past who he can blame for like stalking him and B, set it all up that way, and then pin Blee and Blanche's murder on Jane, and because she was primarily trying to kill off B, with Blanche just being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then Jane goes to prison for the murders, and Eddie just lives his life as Eddie with all that money as a rich, handsome man.
Yeah, okay. That would have been all right, actually.
Yeah, so that was my thing, but I also was like, I didn't sort of see Eddie as a murderer, but the trajectory of where the book was going sort of course, made us feel like Eddie was the murderer, which is always, when they make you feel that way, it's not always the case. But again, so that was my original thought process, and I thought that would have been quite interesting.
Yeah, okay.
What was yours?
Mine was super weird. And I don't know if I was just like in a weird space, but I just saw there were quite a few parallels between B and Jane. Like they both went by different names. Both of them lost their friend. So Jane / Helen lost real Jane, and then B lost Blanche. And I was like, are they like, is this not a panic room? Is this actually like a mental institution? And are they like are they the same person? And it's like a split personality type situation.
But wouldn't Eddie know?
I don't know. I didn't know how it was getting there, but like I was just seeing parallels between the two characters. Like maybe they're the same person. Maybe this isn't a panic room. Maybe she is like in a mental institution and she's like crazy. That would have been good.
That would have been a good, so a little bit like the silent patient institution kind of thing.
Did not turn out that way.
Yeah. All right, so Fable.
Fable reviews were 3.6 stars for this book, and the overall consensus was that it was enjoyable, but maybe a bit predictable, and some people found it a bit dull.
I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun too.
I thought it was a great book. I think because our last few books have been quite heavy.
Yeah, this was much lighter.
Yeah, this is like, I don't even classify this as a thriller.
No, I don't know what this is, but it was
fun murders.
It was a fun murder.
Yeah, but I think like with especially like The Perfect Child, and we also did Strange Sally Diamond as an extra
they're very
credit.
heavy.
Very heavy.
Then she
books.
was gone. Very heavy.
Very heavy.
This was like murder light.
Yeah, very very light reading.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I finished this in primarily like 1.5 days. It was so easy.
And I actually, although they are like plot holes or whatever, all the dumb stuff made me laugh.
Yeah.
I laughed when at the end it was like Eddie changed his will in the last minute and gave it all to Jane.
After they got engaged.
But why did he do that? And how come the police went and saw her and was like, are you okay, honey? Like there was no suspicion. If you were like engaged to someone, if you came from nothing, you got engaged to someone, they died mysteriously, and like weeks before had handed in their will that you were going to get $200 million. Like that would ding 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 some bells to the police, but the police is like, girl, are you okay? The dog is fine. But no, doing a terrible job. No, they weren't suspicious of Jane.
No, the police did a shocking job. They were like,
are they dead? Probably. We found some teeth.
the Tripp's, so the suspected Tripp, right? Tripp's credit card was used to buy the hammer. Check the fucking CCTV camera. What are you doing? Ask the store, did this drunkard come and buy the hammer? No, the credit card was used.
Stupid.
So stupid. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this book. It kind of reminded me of Verity. Obviously, that also had a wife upstairs, but then the whole like premise was different.
Yeah.
But it was just easy reading like that.
Yeah.
And so I put 4.5 stars in here. It's probably more of a 4-star.
Yeah, I had
to be honest. All the silly stuff was dumb, but it was fun. I'm gonna give it a 4 stars.
Yeah. Sort of similar. I think, again, like I said, like when I started this book, I didn't actually think I was gonna like it because it started out a bit dull. I think it started off with like, these rich people don't ask. They look at me. No, it wasn't. So she was out of her car and it was raining and she had to walk the dog. And she was like, they're looking at me like they pity me. But that's it. That's just a look. Like, babe, they're paying you to do your job.
Go take the dog for a walk.
Like, if you don't wanna walk the dog in the rain, you won't get paid for it that day. That's it.
Just text them. I'll come back tomorrow. It's not raining then.
Yeah, when it's not raining, it's
Take some pride in your work.
I was just like, what is this bitch up to? She's whinging about people giving her a look when they're paying her to do it.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? What is it? But then I started liking Jane after that. I'm like, this bitch is great. Girl, it's fantastic, girl. Yeah, so I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I thought the neighborhood ladies were fucking entertaining.
Yeah, they were the best.
They were the best. Like Campbell and Emily.
Everyone had weird names. The only people that didn't have weird names were the people that were like, unusual name. Like the most common name was Jane. Everyone was like, weird name.
You don't hear James anymore.
Campbell here. A lady Campbell.
Campbell,
Blanche? Bertha?
Yeah. But Jane.
But Jane, what a strange name.
Jane is weird. Come on.
Jane's.
And then there was one, Anne Grace.
Yeah. Stupid names.
Trip.
What was the one whose bangle got stolen? Like the
Laundry.
Landry?
Landry, yeah.
You don't hear of many Landrys.
But those are the rich people names, so it's allowed. Rich people can name whatever they want to name.
Jane, what a poor girl name.
Yeah.
There's many Janes around here.
Yeah, I thought the neighborhood women were like so bored in their lives, but so entertaining.
I want to be them.
I want to be them, like in yoga pants all day.
They also like don't have children. They're just living life.
Yeah,
they're just having coffees and planting plants. Not even planting plants. Talking about who's going to plant plants.
Also, why didn't anyone have kids in this book? Which I actually respect. Don't get a woman pregnant.
Well, that's the only way they can afford it.
For the sake of getting pregnant. There was one point where I think Jane had a bit of a shock, and I was like, please don't tell me she's pregnant now.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, there's so many accidental pregnancies.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it when they get a woman pregnant just to continue the story. Like, guys, contraception. Like, oh, no, an accident has happened. No. Anyways, I'm gonna give this a 4.2 stars. Initially, I gave it a 4.8, but yeah, I think I agree. Like, I prematurely gave it a very high star because when I finished reading this book,
when you think about it more,
yeah, it's actually quite stupid. But I genuinely enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give it a 4.2.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And it was so easy.
Yeah.
Enjoyable reading.
Yeah. Aside from B, everything else was great.
About it too much. I don't know if you've ever given like a rounded number.
At this point, am I doing it just to annoy you?
Probably.
Yes, I am. Will I stop doing this? No, probably not. Yeah.
We just have to live through this. The space in our top 10. I'm going to read you our top 10 list.
All right.
Number 1, Perfect Child, Lucinda Berry. Number 2, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Alice Feeney. Number 3, Beautiful, Ugly, Alice Feeney. Number 4, A Flicker in the Dark, Stacey Willingham. Number 5, Keep It in the Family, John Mars. And number 6, Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Where do you want to slot this one in?
Okay. I like this. Okay, so like, again, when I finished it, I was just like, oh, number 2 for sure, right?
Yeah.
But when I think about it, is it really
Maybe
better
it's
than
a
Beautiful
three.
Ugly? Sorry?
Maybe it's
Is it really better than Beautiful Ugly though? The story, the build up, the characters. You love
I love
the weird village people in Beautiful Ugly.
loved the townies.
The townies.
I did love the townies, but I also like the townies in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, maybe 4.
For me, I think it's a number 4 from like a thriller perspective.
Okay.
But yeah, but what do you
number
agree?
4, yeah, we'll put it under the Alice Feeney's
Yeah.
before A Flicker in the Dark.
Well, okay. I was just like, what was Flicker? Oh, that was about more kids dying.
Yeah, and it was her
Brother.
brother. Yeah.
Keep It in the Family was trash.
Yeah, you hated that.
I hated that.
Everyone loves Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. What's wrong with people?
I know, it's crazy. Isn't this like there's a group I follow on Facebook, and they were like one of like the more disturbing books. Quite a few people say it was Pretty Girls because it's very jarring. But then there are so many more books that are worse than this.
Ugh.
I cannot.
Leave me out of it.
Nah.
I want to read more like silly stuff like this.
Yeah. No, I think this was good. I think this was a good refresher type thing for us.
This has got me back into thrillers, to be honest. I feel like the last few we've read have been so heavy
Yeah.
that something like this, I really needed something lighter like this.
Yeah, like now, like after this, I'm like, oh, I'm actually keen to read again.
Yeah.
But after The Perfect Child, I was just like, fuck me. Like, just,
The world is dark.
that was just like kids killing kids, being horrible.
Yeah.
Awful.
No kids
awful.
in this one. It was a nice change.
Yeah.
Did you read any extracurricular books this month?
I did. So, like I said, after The Perfect Child, I sort of needed a break. So I didn't really do a lot of reading. Plus, work has been relentless. So, no, I only did A Welcome Reunion, which was a continuation, a short story from The Perfect Child.
That was quite good. I liked it.
I liked it, but I think it sort of ended a bit abruptly.
It did. Yeah, I agree. But it was nice to just sort of see the end of Janie's story. So if you read, what was it called?
A Perfect Child?
The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry with us, maybe read A Welcome Reunion, which is just the little short story follow-up. And you can see what happens to Janie.
Yeah. Maybe we can do an extra credit episode on that one.
It'll be a short one.
It'll be a very short one, which is fine because our extra credit episodes have actually been running over time for a little bit. Yeah, and I've started this new series because I think I'm back to the point where I need a bit of a palate cleanser from thriller. Although this thriller did the job.
Yeah, it did.
I'm fine now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're back, baby.
Sorry?
We're back, baby.
We're back, yeah. So I started this new series called See You Next Fall. I'm still like in the first book, so I haven't really finished any of the books really. But it's a really cute book. It's about this woman and this guy who meet every fall, and they sort of fall for each other, but they try and just keep their interaction short, and they just see each other every year. And then what happens next? I don't really know what happens any further than that. That's just the synopsis of the book.
That's cute.
I'm like 2 chapters in.
Yeah, it's 2 chapters. You read one short story.
I read one short story and ding ding ding, this book. Well done, me. All right, you.
I also read A Welcome Reunion, which was the Janie follow-up short story. I read the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Have you seen that one?
I've heard about it.
Yeah,
I think it's a show, isn't it?
Nah.
Is it a different one?
No, different. Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It was cute, but it was really dull. And I don't know if that's just because of the type of books that we normally read. I can't remember
something raunchy and spicy.
There was no spice.
Boring.
So it was cute, but it was dull. So it was like I can't remember the names, but it was a guy and a girl, and she moved into the small town and set up the the cafe, and then he delivered the groceries, and then they just instantly started liking each other. But it was very forbidden love for no actual reason. They didn't want the town to know for no actual reason. And then it turned out he had like abandonment issues, but he got over it, and everything's fine. So there was no drama. I also read the first book in the Mindfuck series, which I actually hate the name of that series.
Yeah.
What a stupid name.
Because a lot of people say that this is very dark and gory. Is that what it is? Is it dark and gory?
I mean, they're quite short. I only read the first one. It was not that gory, really. It's like Dexter, but
vengeance kind of stuff.
But yeah, but it's a lady killer. It was all right. I might read the second one. I'm also listening to an audiobook, and I'm partway through it. What Lies Between Us by John Mars. I don't think I like John Mars. Or I don't like audiobooks. I don't know. But his characters are so unlikable.
Yeah. They keep it in the family.
Yeah. Like, I'm only partway through. We'll see. I'm going to finish it. But it's like a woman, and she's holding her mum captive upstairs in the house. Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. Everyone's awful.
So keeping her mum captive in the house is okay. It's not okay. But killing your mum is?
Look, it depends on the circumstance. Bee's mum sounded terrible.
Put her in rehab. Okay, anyways.
We ticked off a few of the bingo cards. I ticked off 3, actually. Woo! The New York Times bestseller short story, which we both did, and then I also did one with the food in the title, which was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
Well done. Yeah. I did
just the 2.
Short story.
Maybe the See You Next Fall will be your series one.
Yes, that's what I'm planning for my series one, actually. So that'll be good.
Our next book. We're up to our next book. So we had 3 options which we put up for vote. They were His and Hers by Alice Feeney, When a Woman is Murdered in Blackdown, a quintessential small town, reporter Anna Andrews is reluctant to cover the case. Detective Jack Harper is suspicious of her involvement until he becomes a suspect in his own murder investigation. Someone isn't telling the truth, and some secrets are worth killing to keep. We like Alice Feeney. Right?
Yeah. Well, it seems like it. We've done a lot of Alice Feeney's books.
Yeah, that's a clear.
A third Alice Feeney's book. No more after this.
Somebody suggested this. This was not my suggestion. This was the people's choice.
People's choice.
Your choice that you put up for vote was I Remember You by Theo Baxter. 2 years ago, Aria Weth woke up in a hospital with a severe head injury and no recollection of her previous life. Now she is a successful sculptor living in a remote cabin upstate New York with her husband Austin. Despite everything that's happened, she's living a good life, a peaceful life, except for the recurring nightmares, terrifying fragments of the trauma that led to her memory loss, fragments that do not match Austin's account of that fateful day. As his behavior grows increasingly erratic, Aria becomes convinced that her husband is hiding something sinister. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I actually want to read this one.
Well, put it on your list.
Yeah.
Maybe it won. Who knows?
I know.
And the third book, which was my choice, was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Travel magazine writer Lo Blacklock has just been given the assignment of a lifetime, 1 week on a luxury cruise with only a handful of cabins. At first, Lo's voyage is perfect, with a plush cabin, elegant dinner parties, and plenty of relaxation. But as the week wears on, frigid winds whip the deck, grey skies fall, and Lo witnesses what she can only describe as a dark and terrifying nightmare. A woman being thrown overboard. The problem is all passengers remain accounted for, and so the ship sails as if nothing has happened, despite Lo's desperate attempt to convey that something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. That one's been turned into a Netflix series with Keira Knightley. Or a movie. Series or movie.
I'm very interested in this one.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good. It reminds me of what's that one with the plane with the daughter that goes missing, that movie?
I don't remember.
Flight Plan? I can't remember.
No idea. Ship like cruise stuff is always so scary
Yeah.
because I've heard a few podcasts about like true crimes around like cruises, and like there's this one I think of Europe where this one woman was just suddenly kidnapped and no one ever found any trace of her ever again.
How does that happen? I'm gonna read the book. I'll find out.
Yeah.
The winner was His and Hers by Alice Feeney. So we're doing another Alice Feeney book.
Yay.
And then she is banned from book club.
Yeah, and then even if the people vote for her, we're not going to choose her any longer.
Yeah.
For a while, at least.
Yeah. Maybe until her next book, which actually does sound quite good.
What's the next book?
I don't think it's out yet. I don't know when it's coming out. But I think it's like a woman returns home and then like her husband's new wife is there, and it's just very confusing. Who this new wife is.
Okay.
The next book club will be on the 4th of July, so put it in your diaries. We are reading His and Hers. His and Hers?
Yeah.
By Alice Feeney. Yeah, we're excited.
We are excited. Very exciting.
We should do an extra credit episode. We're going to do Housemaid 2 because Housemaid 1 was so popular.
It was very popular. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll ride that wave. Are you still there?
Huh?
You contributing? Not at all.
Yeah, no, it was great. It's great. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just in the background. Yeah.
You can follow us on socials at Grim Tonic Book Club to join in on our book club chat. Please, I don't know what you do. Subscribe
to our podcast. Follow us on Instagram, where this is available wherever you get your podcasts.
We assume that you can listen to your podcasts because otherwise you wouldn't hear it right now.
Yes, that's actually true.
Yeah.
But we are available on other platforms as well.
If you want to jump around, we're probably also there.
Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Amazon Music, we are on YouTube.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Follow us, find us. We're there. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to yet another episode of the Grim and Tonic Book Club.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.